So what I'd like to talk about today, and we have quite a short slot here, is research that we normally do for our customers, have done for our customers in the past, for them to understand how much fatigue and distraction that they have in their fleets. And we found that research was so powerful, so interesting to them, that we thought we'd turn it into a white paper, which we presented at the ITS conference in Melbourne last year, and it won a prize for technical innovation. So this is research, but I want to try and bring it alive because it's based not so much on an academic study, but on real stuff that we do for our customers. So the problem, fatigue and distraction is a big issue. We think it's a big issue in the industry. A lot of the research, and you can see it up here, is what I would describe as forensic. So it's based on interviews, it's based on analysis of things that have happened in the past, video footage or whatever, but it's really forensic. And the stuff that I want to talk about now isn't. It's real-time analysis of driver behavior and driver condition. So it's before driver condition impacts the behavior of the vehicle. So it's really upfront. They are interesting statistics, but like I say, most of this is forensic. So, the research that we did. Basically, we worked with 3 of our customers in South Africa. They were running fleets around 50 vehicles. And what we do with them is that we do 1 month where we have our sensors in the cabs, and they are basically analysing the driver's head position, eye closure, behaviour that we associate with fatigue. So the whole head nodding stuff, closing one eye, all of the things that our algorithms are picking up that detect fatigue. And so what we're doing in that first month is we're establishing a benchmark. So the sensors are on, but the alerts are not on. So we're proving that we can detect driver condition, and we can show to the management of the company just what they have in their fleet. And it's very interesting statistics that come out of it. A lot of the information that people have of their own drivers is anecdotal or subjective. And they think, well, okay, I think I might have a problem, but they're not really sure. And when they actually see the results after the first month, it's really quite revealing. So we're assuming that we can detect driver condition. We assume that, and we can demonstrate it over there. Then what do you do about it? How do you actually intervene? And what does that intervention mean to the benchmarking figures? Basically, what we consider as a good intervention is if someone is falling asleep, most of their senses have already closed down. They're not listening to anybody anymore. They're not seeing anything because their eyes are shutting. They're not concentrating. But the last sense to go is your physical awareness. And so what we've done is we've taken the alert that someone is falling asleep and turned it into a signal that goes to a vibration motor that we mount on the seat chassis. And here in Britain, we can modulate the frequency and everything. We have it resembling a rumble strip. So basically, when someone's falling asleep or their eyes are starting to close, when they're going over a certain speed, the rumble strip kicks in and it buzzes them awake. And it's really very dramatic when you see the video footage of someone falling asleep and then shocking themselves awake again. We've all felt it, we've all been over a rumble strip, so it's really deeply built into us. Assuming all of that, I really want to just talk very quickly about the results. We're looking at around 90% reduction in fatigue incidents that we have. Fatigue is a physiological problem. Our customers and drivers really appreciate you intervening when they're falling asleep. It's not a behavioural thing. Distraction tends to be a behavioural thing where you need to educate your drivers. You warn them that they're distracted, they're looking out the side window, or they're playing with their phone or whatever, but it's a behavioural thing. And so the improvements you get with distraction are over time. You can get a pretty dramatic improvement when the alerts go on, but basically you've got to educate the driver. Please stop doing that. Remind them that they need to pay attention out the screen, out the windscreen. But fatigue is one that they really appreciate. And the number of the feedback that we get from drivers, and especially their partners, when their partners realise that the driver is out there, their partner is out there protected on the road and being woken up because they're generally out there on their own. So we're looking at improvements of around 90-odd%. These are real statistics taken from the studies. The white papers are available online. So what I would say, this is all about the protection for the drivers. When we're talking to them in advance, there's a lot of suspicion around what looks like a camera going into their cab. Here in the UK, we're very aware of what cameras are, and there's a bit more acceptance in other markets that we're working in. It's a bit more difficult, but still, it's about the driver. The benefit to you as a fleet owner or as a dispatcher or whatever is all of the big data that you get around it. So you can see where there are times of day when people are falling asleep. You can see there are areas that they're falling asleep. There are certain routes that they're doing where they fall asleep. And it's a lot to do with either their lifestyle or to do with the routine of the drive that they do. So a typical one would be from somewhere like Lincolnshire down to the docks, up and down the M11. up in Scotland on the M8, routine. Drivers are doing it 2 or 3 times a day and they're not stimulated anymore. And actually for us, some of the really interesting thing with the big data is that we can then go to people like Highways England and say, you've got an issue on this particular stretch of road, and it's not anecdotal, it's not based on accidents, it's based on real measurement of driver distraction and fatigue. So some of these things that we're putting in, like road sculptures to try and keep drivers awake or stimulated, are they actually doing the job that they're doing, or are they distracting drivers? Thank you very much.